Welcome to word processing, and in this particular course we are going to be discussing electronic word processing. And the electronic word processing we're going to be using as an application is Microsoft Word Processing. Now let's talk about electronic word processing in general. We have different kind of word processing. It can be manual, it can be electronic, and so on and so forth. But here you are faced with electronic word processing because it is more advanced and more accessible than the manual type of word processing. Just like every other application, word processing has its strengths and the way it operates. Now let's say we have different versions of word processing, starting from version 3.0 to the most recent version. Word processing, in other words, simply refers to that process of organizing typesetting documents in order to make books. We first of all say in order to make lines, you make characters, you make alphabets, you combine them to make a book, an organized book. But Microsoft Word has its scopes. And when you talk about the scopes, we have electronic area of coverage in word processing. Now we have one of the scopes as electronic typesetting, which is the main area of activity in electronic word processing. It involves using the computer's keyboard to organize documents that are in line with the rules and standard of documentation. There are some documents you can typeset. We have the letter of agreement, letter of application, curriculum vitae or resume, and lots of them. We have book organization as number 2 of the scope. And when you talk about book organization, you talk about when you use the process of typesetting to organize or arrange a book using other attributes and unique attributes called utility features. And these are attributes that actually differentiate an ordinary typeset document and a book. They include cover page, preliminary pages, subsidiary pages, page and character numbers, headers and footers, footnotes and endnotes, captions and headings. Now, what is these preliminary pages? They are those pages that appear before the introductory page or chapter 1, e.g. we have the dedication, we have the acknowledgement, we have table of content, we have the abstract, we have etc. Then the subsidiary pages are those that appear after the last chapter of a book. They include index, glossy, endnote, bibliography, and other utility features will be treated as we go on. Mind you, all these things we've mentioned, you are still going to do them at the cost of doing word processing electronically. Then we have another scope of word processing called page composition. It's a technique that involves a combination of text and images together in a cohesive manner. It is common in newspapers and magazines creation. That's what we call page composition, which we are still going to do it at the course of learning this particular course called electronic word processing. Then we have graphic production. In this area, it involves the use of sophisticated drawing tools on the drawing toolbar to create good-looking and fanciful graphics such as logos, invitation cards, and etc. So prepare your mind, because you're going to know how to use Microsoft Word to prepare your logos and invitation cards of all sorts. Then we have task automation. When you talk about task automation in the sense that in Microsoft Word there are lots of tasks that are automatic. You understand? You automate them. This simply brings two actions together to be performed. You bring two or more actions together to be performed. We call it task automation. Then we have table creation. You can create tables of all sorts that you will soon get to know how it works. Then documentation techniques. These are other useful techniques which aid document organization. Now, when you talk about all this, these are many more you're going to be facing at the course of studying Microsoft Word using the word processing technique and other things that we're going to be preparing. So get your chair closer, comport yourself while you learn Microsoft Word.